We end today's show in Paris by looking at the impact of Friday's attacks on the upcoming UN Climate Change Conference. Organizers from around the world have been planning demonstrations and actions throughout the two-week conference, including a massive march scheduled for November 29th, the day before the talks begin. As many as 200,000 people were expected to attend.
But now French authorities are threatening to curtail the public demonstrations and marches in the wake of Friday's attacks. For more, we're going directly to Paris to Alex Mazouni, the International Policies Coordinator at Climate Action Network France. On Tuesday, she was part of a meeting with the French Foreign Minister, Laurent Fabius, to discuss the ways the marches and demonstrations could go forward. Alex, welcome to Democracy Now! What came of this meeting? And then we would like to ask you to describe what the climate is like in Paris now.
So, indeed, a number of NGOs met with our Foreign Affairs Minister yesterday morning to discuss what could come out, what kind of mobilizations would still be authorized, not just on November 29th, but also across both weeks of the COP, as many things were planned. And the political signal he sent us was, we want to maintain a form of public expression across both weeks. We're looking into options. Obviously, the main concern is safety of the French people, safety of all the people in the streets of Paris, internationals, nationals, who want to march on climate change and express themselves. So, he sent us an important political signal, but he is the Minister of Foreign Affairs, not the Minister in charge of safety concerns. So what we're waiting for now is a definite response from the Prime Minister tonight or tomorrow morning to tell us exactly what form of that, we hope that there will be a form of public expression, and that the question is not whether or not there will be one, but which one it will be, taking into account all those security constraints.
And in terms of the situation with the borders and people who might be coming from other countries coming into France, will there be increased difficulties in that sense?
So we were told that people with Schengen visas would still be able to get through the borders, and it was only a matter of security checks at the borders regularly, so people would have to have all their documents with them, but that normally, apart from a few extra challenges, it should not stop international groups from coming to Paris. And this is a very important signal of solidarity. We need them to be in Paris with us throughout the COP. We need them to march with us on the 29th, and we need them to support us also across the world, not just in Paris. We know that a number of marches will be organized in different places across all continents on November 28th and 29th, and we want them to march in solidarity with us on our behalf and in our name. So we hope that the message will be sent across to everyone.
We're speaking just hours after another raid on a Paris apartment, and this resulted in 7 arrests and 2 people dead. It's not clear how much more of these kind of actions will be going on. Why do you feel it is still important to march on November 29th, not to mention have actions throughout the 2 weeks of the climate summit?
I think that the discussions that we've been having among French groups and with international groups is that more than ever before, we need to tackle climate change. If there is one war that needs to be done, and we have to go for it, it's the war against climate change. And it will have impacts on many other issues. It will increase social stability. It will make sure people have food in their stomachs. It will make sure people can live where they are and they don't live in a climate of fear or social instability. So in that context, we want a strong climate agreement in Paris. We want to make sure that more and more people mobilize on the issue of climate change, but more generally around solidarity, unity, and peace, obviously, which are all very connected issues. And, the motto of the city of Paris, I don't know exactly how to translate it into English, but it basically says, we can cope with waves, but we will never, ever sink. We will stay afloat. And I think this is also part of the message. More than ever, people across the world and in Paris need to stand up to say that they are fearless and that they want their right to public and democratic freedom of speech, and that climate change today is that one issue where we can express it. And that's why we need people to mobilize across both weeks in Paris and across the world in solidarity with us.
And are you worried that the national leaders, now so much focused after the horrible events of last week on fighting terrorism, might not be as focused on the issue of the negotiations that occur at the summit?
This is a major concern indeed. We know that leaders are coming to Paris, but we're not sure whether climate change will still be the one and only priority on their agenda, and understandably so. At the same time, as I said, climate change is the symptom. The causes and consequences of climate change are connected to all of this terrorism. They're fueling terrorism, they're fueling the social instability, the world of unrest in which we live today. So to us, it makes complete sense to discuss even more so why we need to tackle climate change, why we need a strong agreement in Paris, why we need strong climate action everywhere, solidarity, financial support from developed to developing countries, a vision with no fossil fuels in the picture, and a world where there are jobs being created thanks to renewable energy and energy efficiency. So all of these issues must connect in Paris and make sure that actually now we even have more of a leverage to get a strong climate agreement in Paris.
Alex Mazouni, we want to thank you for being with us. You're standing in front of the Plaza de la République, where people are showing their solidarity with those who died on Friday.